what is good? Really exciting day today. So, in about 10 minutes, I'm going to walk over to Manchester Piccadilly Station and take a train for about almost 4 hours all the way to Cardiff. Tonight in Cardiff, I am DJing the opening slot of this Connected With event with DJs like Red Freya, Aubrey Fry, and I'll just call him Stel because I'm still not sure how to pronounce his name. But these are some pretty legit DJs, and obviously stepping out of my comfort zone a little bit, doing an intro set. Not saying that the intro set is out of my comfort zone, but doing a set itself is out of my comfort zone. Last night, I think I stayed up, this sucked. Last night I stayed up till like 3:30 with David, aka Jurassic Trance, building the set, setting the cue points, doing all the shit. That's a lot of fun. What's not fun is waking up. I didn't even wake up 3 hours later. This is how dumb it was. Set my alarm for 5:30 after going to bed at like 3:30 because I wanted to go to the gym before, before going down, spending my day traveling. Would have been awesome to get to the gym. Alarm's going off. I'm like in a dream state where in my dream, like, I don't even know what happened, but I just kept snoozing my alarm for like an hour and a half. And so I wasn't sleeping well and I didn't go to the gym. So that was just really shitty. Outside of that, we're leaving for Cardiff in about 10 minutes, and in Cardiff is, the train gets to the station, and at the station, Jimpy is going to be waiting for me. He's kind of like a local legend, it seems like, and he had a track, and I got I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but he had a track on Sasha's GU 13 in Ibiza. Sasha's Global Underground 13 in Ibiza. And for anyone, that is like a huge, huge deal, especially in this underground community. So, yeah, he's kind of like a Cardiff, it seems to me like he's like a Cardiff local legend. Had the track on Sasha's GU, but he was also a resident at the Hippo Club. And I actually spoke about it with him on a podcast a few weeks ago, kind of getting to know a little bit about Cardiff. But we're going to do something pretty cool. Kind of like what we did with Sander Kleinenberg in Amsterdam. We're going to walk around Cardiff with Jimpy, and he's going to show us the sights. I think we're going to stop by the Hippo Club. And another thing we're going to stop by, which is really cool, is the record shop where the film Human Traffic was filmed. That famous record shop scene, like The Junglist, all that stuff. So yeah, pretty sick day, honestly. It's going to be a quick trip. I get down there at noon, we do the sightseeing, I'm probably going to take a nap at the hotel, and then we're all getting together for like a little pre-drinks session, which I'm pretty stoked about. And then, yeah, the set's from 9 to 10. I'm going to record the set, even though I'm nervous about the bass shaking the tripod. I'm still going to film it. Hopefully there's some good clips. And then, yeah, wake up at 9 a.m. to catch my train home tomorrow and back to business as usual. So it should be a pretty sick day. I'm super stoked. And, yeah, we're going to head to the train station right now, and I'll probably check back in when we arrive in Cardiff with Jimpy. So, super stoked. Jimpy, what's up, man? Thanks for picking me up.
How are you?
Doing great. We're gonna go on a little music history, specifically club history tour of Cardiff right now, led by the man himself.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a go, and we're starting right here because it's just perfect. That building there is where the Hippo Club was, which is probably the hacienda of Cardiff. And in fact, I've got an old picture here that if I just pull out, just to give it a little bit of context. Oh, wow. So you can still see the wall and the railing went down there.
Oh man, that's amazing. They just build up on it?
They just basically knocked it down, built that horrible monstrosity of a new building.
Yeah.
And just there was a place called the Bristol Hotel, which was like a really old pub, probably like a Victorian pub or something. And that was like a pre-club. So everyone would go there first and have a few drinks and, you know, get ready for the party, basically.
How did having this being next to the train station, did it draw kind of a out-of-town crowd?
People came from everywhere for the Hippo. It was like, but I think it was still mostly people from Cardiff, the South Wales valleys. It's very much a Welsh thing, but there was definitely travelling clubbers, because I mean this place attracted DJs like Sasha, Digweed, Oakenfold, Sven Vath, Jeff Mills, you name it, David Morales, you know, all the big boys played right there. And it's still really weird when I come here and I go and get a train and I look across and I just think, whoa, you know, that was so important for Welsh clubland. And yeah, at that time, you know, it was 1993, I think it launched, and then went until 1999, so I had a pretty long run.
Amazing.
So yeah, basically the door was in the middle, and you had two sections to it. You had a club called Bogies downstairs, which was more of a rock club, although actually sometimes it was used for the dance events as well, because they were getting so big. We had a 210 capacity allowance for people, and on some nights we had 1,000 people in there, so it was like pretty crazy. But just behind it was a little garden, and we're going to have a little walk around there, and there might be the old mural there, the old Hippo mural, and everything inside was painted by a guy called Chuck, and he was just an amazing artist. And as you came in up the stairs, you get all like hippos in space and things like that. There was animatronics, early animatronics that he created, and it was just, you had a chill out room on this side, the main room was upstairs, and yeah, and it was all set up by a guy called Peter Laughlin and Pablo, and we had amazing door staff. They were part of the team. People love the door staff as well, so we've got to give a shout to those guys. And it was just a really special place. It really was, without a doubt, our hacienda. So yeah, that was one of Chuck's works. This was the garden area. And on the big bank holiday events, Peter used to generally book like a Friday night, a big Friday night, a Saturday night, and also like a Sunday night. And we'd have this area out here as well. We used to laugh because he'd say he'd do food and barbecue, but obviously at that time no one was eating anything. But I remember John Kelly was playing, he was booked to play upstairs, and the garden was rocking so much, and this garden was tiny, that he came down, and me and Ollie were on the decks out the back, and he was like, I don't want to play in the main room, I want to play out here, because it was so good. So we let him come on.
How many people could the garden fit about? Like 50?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. It was tiny, but it's just weird standing here thinking, I was standing probably around about there on the decks, DJing to people, what, 30 years ago almost? You know, it's crazy. So this place is Jacob's Market, and even though it's a very old building, in recent times they've started doing dance events. So promoters, external promoters, go in here and they can hire it out. It's a really cool kind of underground space, and yeah, it's probably only 200 capacity, which is nice. You know, they're often the best ones. But yeah, it's just a lovely old building with all old antiques. But they've got and they've got a garden on the top. You can just see a bit of it there, and a nice view. And they do events on the top as well, so it's worth a mention.
Yeah, awesome, man.
Actually, was a club called Liquid, and there was a bar upstairs called Life. This is the kind of club where external promoters would go in. One in particular was a brand that still goes to this day called L'America. And there's two nights in particular that I can remember, one with Carl Cox and one with Roger Sanchez.
Nice.
And you would go in, go downstairs, quite a big club, probably 1,500 people, so it's quite a big space. And Carl Cox and Roger Sanchez, two separate nights, absolutely tore it, like, just tore it to shreds. It was amazing. But then there was also Escape went in there for a while. Escape was a really big Swansea clubbing event, so they took over for a while. But also my old techno night, a house and techno night called Celador, when it became a club called DC, we finished it before the club closed down. And we put two events in there, no big names, nothing at all. It was just me, local DJs. We did 1,000 people on each night. It was amazing. We had a big sound system, big lasers, played techno, and yeah, it was amazing. Wow. And it's reopened as a more kind of drinking kind of place, you know. But yeah, it was really special. All this area here is kind of your, at night time, it all comes alive with the bars, restaurants. You've got a place here called the Philharmonic on the left, really, really well known. When I came here as a student in '92, that was open back then, and it was still called the Philharmonic, and it's actually just been recently done out. But there's a little club underneath that, again, nice. External promoters do drum and bass and stuff like that. But yeah, this is it's one of those little areas where over time clubs become different things, they become different brands. But yeah, it's quite an important part of the strip.
Yeah, so is this the main drag?
Yeah, basically down here, but then there's little pockets as well.
Yes, so some clubbing history by cinema history.
Yeah, so just here somewhere was Whoosh Records, which was one of the old independent record stores. So it was kind of one of those places where you'd go in and you could buy all your vinyl, you know, you would be there literally every day. There was another one called Catapult that we'll get to, and it was just here, but it also was where it was featured in Human Traffic. So, you know, when he goes, got any jungle, and then they go into the track, that was right in here. And then next to it, you got Las Iguanas, which even though it's a restaurant, there's a little area underneath and a little tiny area that a group of guys ran an event called Cool House. And they started off there, tiny little thing, and then we used to put them on in our back room in our big club, and then they blew up massive, and they were booking people like Bushwhacker, Green Velvet, all that kind of stuff, and they were doing events in places like the Coal Exchange, which we can get to later. But yeah, so even when you see like a restaurant like this, you know, there's hidden secrets. But yeah, Whoosh was definitely here somewhere. Yeah. It was run by Craig Bartlett and Dave Jones, who are still DJs in the city to this day. Okay. So we've got to give a nod to this building, which is where Spiller's Record was, which was probably, I think it's one of the oldest record shops in the UK. It's actually moved into the arcade now, but when I used to start buying vinyl, things like Guerrilla Records, Cowboy Records, so really early 90s house, that's where we would always go. And yeah, that was like a bit of a mecca for the early dance music scene, for all the DJs to go in there and get their vinyl. But this, just here, is a club called Metro's, which is still going to this day. And when I first came to Cardiff, I'd come from the Midlands and I was very much into jungle techno, DJ SS, Top Buzz, Carl Cox, Mickey Finn, that kind of rave scene. So I came down, I was in halls of residence, and I met a guy from Bristol who was into house music, and he'd already done a little bit of research. And he said, we got to go to a new night starting in here called Ecuador. And so we would go here, there'd be a queue along here, and that was Cowboy Records, DOP, Nicky Holloway, John Kelly, Ashley Beadle, Rocky, and the two residents, Dave Jones and Mark Anderson. And I mean, the things that I saw in here, I saw firemen carrying fences and stuff. I don't think they were ever really there, but I still remember them as if they were. That's how crazy this club was. But you go downstairs, it's like a tunnel, really small, really low ceiling, and it used to absolutely rock. And it ran for probably maybe a year, but that's what got me into more of the house music scene as opposed to the harder stuff. And that was before I became a DJ myself. So it was kind of my introduction to it. And I still see Dave Jones to this day. In fact, I ran some events with him last year. So it's amazing that one of the DJs that got me into that sound, we ran some events with, and he's still going, you know. But yeah, this place, really special. Now they only do, I think it's all indie nights and stuff like that. They don't do any dance music at all, which is a shame actually, because it's actually a really cool venue. So this was a club called Poonanars. There's probably been lots of other clubs as well. I think it was called Lloyd's maybe as well. I used to run a progressive house night here actually on a Friday, and I used to play, there was a guy called Ian Dungy. Unfortunately he's not with us anymore, and arguably he was probably the best progressive DJ ever in Cardiff. But he used to come and warm up and do like the first 2 hours, and then I would do the next 4 hours, and it was just us two every Friday. Tiny little club, you go down some stairs, little dance floor, bar at the back, and it was just one of those places where once it was full it would just rock, you know, and you could play anything in there as well. And that would have been around about 98 maybe, 99. But it was a club until recently, and maybe it is a club again. They've changed the door, I don't know. It says Boho nightclub, but yeah, it was, I did a thing on my Facebook asking people to name some of their favourite old clubs, and Poonanars kept coming up all the time, so it's definitely one of the old popular ones. Right in the corner was a record store, a bit like Whoosh, Catapult Records. Again, it was kind of a mecca of place, you know, mecca of DJs really, where they'd all go. We'd get all the tracks, and I was working there for a while, having to buy the tracks over the phone from the distributors, so they'd play me the track down the phone. I'd have to say, right, I want 10 copies. You know, there was no digital kind of, you know, files or anything like that. And then we'd get our box of whatever we'd ordered, and then sometimes we'd put them on and think, oh no, it doesn't sound the same. But basically, every single day, people would come in there and buy all their vinyl. It was like one of the feeders for all the DJs in the city. So it was a really cool place. It's actually run now, it's a tattoo studio and barbers run by a guy called Matthew Pritchard, who's probably, he's really well known actually. He ran, well, he's a skateboarder. I know you like your skateboarding. But also he was on a show called Dirty Sanchez, so he's like the star of the show, like Jackass. So he was like the main star of the show. So that's his store down there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, just in the middle. This was the Emporium, without a doubt, one of the most popular clubs in Cardiff. Upstairs was the second room, so it's kind of a house room, and then the club was a very long, low-ceiling club, and people like Paul van Dyk would play here. Most of the big DJs at the time all played in this venue. In fact, this is where I gave Paul van Dyk one of my white labels while he was playing, and he put it straight on and played it. And there was probably like 800 people in a club designed for 300 people. So yeah, it was really epic. Lots of different external promoters would come in here. So they had Breakbeat Nights, L'America, Time Flies, which is one of the biggest club nights in the city, but definitely after the Hippo Club, probably the second most popular club in the city.
We forgot one thing.
So yeah, the other very important thing is that here was where the movie Human Traffic, these were the external scenes. So when you saw the queue for the people queuing to get in the club, that was just here. So
very cool. Yeah.
So yeah, that was a, you know, a legendary movie right there. And the Carl Cox scene was filmed in there as well, in the office. So that was used in there when Carl Cox is talking and he's like the manager. That was done in there. This place was called the Model Inn, and I just want to give it a shout because it was one of the main pre-club locations.
Oh, nice.
So upstairs, before the big club events, people would come here first, and this is where the party would start. So I just want to give a shout because it was really important. You know, the pre-clubs were sometimes just as important as the main clubs, you know. We'd get everyone into the mood. So yeah, that was
What was like the timing of all this? Like, so, not like the years, but like what time would a night start out in Cardiff?
So I guess this would start about 8 o'clock maybe.
So early compared to New York,
yeah.
which is like nothing happens before midnight.
Really?
Yeah.
And then like, and then we start the clubs probably about 10. We used to start Vision at 11, and then we'd go until 6 in the morning or 4 in the morning.
Nice.
But yeah, the pre-clubs would always start about 8 o'clock.
That's a good vibe.
So this is now the Moon Club, where they do various different events, but back in the 90s, early 90s, this was Silhouettes. And you'd go up a doorway and you'd go upstairs, and then this is where I first kind of got into, or when I came down, because I was into drum and bass and the rave scene, this is where they were running those kind of nights in here. And this is actually where I met Peter that set up the Hippo Club. So I gave him a cassette, and he was running some nights in here called the Hippo Club. So actually, even though the Hippo Club was behind the railway station, the Hippo Club, a lot of people don't know, was launched in Silhouettes as a brand. And then I remember him saying to me, look, I've got an idea for a club, I've got a venue in mind, and I gave him a tape. And yeah, he loved it. And then the other guy, Pablo, was the one that actually asked me to get involved in the end. There was 2 of them. But this was a really important club in Cardiff. It was and it's nice to see that it's still going. In fact, this street is one of the streets that the council has kind of protected because of its music culture. Here we've got Club Eifelbach, so the Welsh club, and this to this day still does bands, dance music events, external promoters come in here. It's on 3 floors. They've just got approval, I think, to expand into the next building, the old building there. So they're going to make it bigger. But this is, I mean, this has been going longer than I've been in Cardiff, because when I used to start DJing, I used to play on a Thursday night for a thing called Juice Joint, and the decks kind of faced the window. We didn't even face the crowd back then, you know, you used to face the window instead and look back at the crowd. And in fact, I was at the Chemical Brothers gig in the summer, and the guy that used to run Juice Joint, I've not seen him for probably 30 years, came up to me and he was like, Jim, which was really weird. Nice to see, but yeah, these are really important. And amazing that they're still going to this day. So this is where Vision 2K was. So people would remember me for Vision 2K, Enter the Dragon. Basically you would go inside, downstairs, 1,500 capacity, lots of different rooms, chill out rooms. The chill out room was like an igloo when we were in there. So it was literally like a white igloo that changed colour every so often. We had a room that was like a jungle. The main room was just massive, big stage. People like David Morales played here, Todd Terry, all the UK big DJs. John Fleming was one of our residents, so he used to play once a month. Rob Tessera, all the harder DJs. It was just an amazing place. And before Vision 2K, it goes back probably into the 70s, because it would have been Forum, Astoria, Poonanars, which is what it was when I first came to Cardiff, and before that probably Ritzy and Top Rank. So this under here was a club that really goes back in time, you know, and it's literally under the ground. So you would go in, go downstairs, and from what I gather, someone said that something like the ladies' changing rooms or something is where the DJ used to be. So we can't go and find out, obviously. But yeah, this was epic. And I always remember that little box there. That gives me a clue as to where the entrance was. It was just here somewhere. It was either here or there. I can't quite remember, but I know that was near it. Because sometimes we'd stand here and we'd set some decks up outside, and then we'd promote the club by playing music outside.
Oh, awesome.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So here's a couple of the entrances that I found. That was Forum when it was Forum, and then that was when it was Vision 2K.
So cool. Oh, we got the bells. Perfect.
Cardiff City Hall. And we got to mention this because the first ever dance event in here, there is a big hall, and the first ever dance event in here was actually run, I believe, by Peter that actually set up the Hippo Club, and it was Sasha. So Sasha played in here. But then after that, there's a guy called Henry that runs a dance music event called Time Flies, and he ran some huge events in here. And next year, he's still going. He still does 1 or 2 events a year. And next year is his 30th anniversary. I mean, I don't know of any other club events in the world that are still going after 30 years. And he's managed to get this place for his 30th anniversary next year. And he's got like Graham Park from the Hacienda, Seb Fontaine, I can't remember who else, but he's got a really big lineup of old school DJs, you know, and he's taking over the hall again, and it'll be a big reunion, and I think it's on like April 27th or something next year. But that is going to be epic for him. It was nice because he rang me actually and asked me whether I wanted to play as well, but I can't do it because I think I'm away that weekend. But it was just nice to catch up with him, and because we were always like rival promoters as well, because there was a bit of a rivalry between promoters. That kind of stuff now we just laugh about, you know. But yeah, what a building, and amazing to think that people can go in there and have a dance.
It's insane. Like this, did City Hall know what was going on when like the first ones were going down? Because it just like blows my mind that like they'd let you know hundreds of kids in for a rave in City Hall.
Yeah, I know. It's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I guess maybe they eventually figured out what was going on because they stopped it, and they wouldn't allow it to continue. And so for him to get the venue again to do this 30th anniversary, fair play. I don't know how he's managed to pull that one off, but it's great. I'm glad for him. But yeah, maybe the officials will just be like, they'll all go on holiday that weekend or something, you know, they won't want to know. But yeah, it's a great building. It's great that we've got such an amazing building where we've been allowed to party basically. Tony DeVitt played here a few times. I think all of the big DJs played here at some point, so.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so we just got to give a nod to the Student Union, which is now a new building, so there's no point really showing it. But where the Student Union was, there was a club called Terminal 396, which was a big state-of-the-art nightclub at the time, and then a pre-club called Finisterre, which was downstairs. And this is where an event promotion started called Spice of Life. And that again was Craig Bartlett that does L'America, Dave Jones that did Ecuador and does his Space Lab thing now, and Time Flies Henry, so they were all kind of involved with that. So that's where, it's also the first place I ever DJ'd. So when I bought my few records from Spillers, that's where I went, played to a few students. But it was a big, really good nightclub, you know, it was state of the art. And then Spice of Life was people like Danny Ramplin would go there, K-Class, really big, proper club nights. And underneath, you've got a place called the Great Hall, probably holds about 2,000 people. And yeah, everyone from Paul Van Dyk's played there, probably Carl Cox. Some of the big artists have played there. So the Student Union has been a great place for dance music. Really, really cool.
Awesome.
So, but yeah, it's all changed now. So just a nod to what was in here. You've now got a club called District, which is actually one of the more modern clubs. So they love the really hard banging music in there. It looks like a great venue. I've not actually been in there. But just here was a club called Creation, which was also called Zeus, and that was external promoters would go in there, and I think Armin van Buren, I saw him play in there at some point. And it's just another one of those kind of areas where there's been some really good dance events kind of tucked away in these old buildings, you know, so yeah. District's really rocking at the minute, so if you're a youngster watching this, that's where you want to go. Or an old one, actually, why not? Here on the left is a club called Pulse, which I believe now is, and WOW as well. So these are kind of where the gay nights take place. It used to be in Charles Street, which is the next street over, which we'll get to because we need to visit where the old Club X was.
Nice.
But yeah, I used to run a few little events in there as well. It's another underground kind of club, small, intimate, quite intense. Still going to this day. So yeah, it's worth getting a nod. So this is, I think it was this door step. I can't remember those stairs. Yeah, and then that was downstairs. So this was Club X. Club X was by far the best gay club in the city, probably ever. We ran some events here as well called General Nation X, but this place, I've got to give a nod to DJ Andre and Greg. They were the residents that I can remember, and this is just one of those clubs where you could go after hours and always go in and it would be rocking. Those boys were smashing it out, whether it was chunky house or trance, and the vibe was great. And yeah, you'd go downstairs and it was like a back room, very dark, very intense, with like a balcony around it as well. This is where they filmed the inside scenes in Human Traffic, in the club scene. So that is really important. And then on the other side of the road was another place called Exit, which was a bit more of a kind of pop commercial gay club. I think that was just down there. But this was kind of the gay quarter of the city. And I don't think it is anymore. I think it's now just, all that stuff's gone and it's moved over to where we just went with Pulse. But yeah, it's a shame because that was a great venue. Really good.
Wow. Well, I want to thank you for an awesome tour, bro. This was really cool to see Cardiff like this through the eyes of Jimpy. But yeah, so much history here. This was awesome.
It's nice. It's nice to just walk around and talk about it all again, you know. Just so many memories.
Oh, totally.
So many memories and things we can't talk about, things that we put in the vault forever, you know. But yeah, hopefully when people look at this, you know, it'll evoke a lot of good memories for people. And
yeah, I hope people in the Facebook groups like share, they'll watch this and then share some photos and stuff like that.
That'd be amazing. And obviously there's loads of venues. I put a post up on my personal Facebook yesterday, and there's a lot of clubs obviously we've not been able to cover. I don't even know where they were. They may have been open before I was in Cardiff, but we can do a little list of those at the end and just give a nod to them because they've all obviously contributed in one way or another. But yeah, it's been nice. And we got the weather for it too.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Well, thank you, bro.
Nice one, man.
Yeah.
Alright, so we just checked in to the hotel and let's see what we got here in Cardiff City Centre. And that's it. Not the biggest room. But it's perfect. You know, one day, this little hotel room, hostel, potentially, is going to be a 5-star hotel. But that day is not today. And, you know, we all got to start somewhere. So I'm just more than stoked to be here. Got room for a friend, too. Alright, so I really enjoyed that kind of club history walk of Cardiff with Jimpy. And first of all, thank you, Jimpy. It's really nice to meet someone who's not only like, you know, just super nice to someone not from here, but also super proud of the scene they helped cultivate in the town that they're from. So that was really special, and I think it just sheds light on the best that this scene, this, let's call it a global underground, you know, this underground progressive scene has to offer, which is this. Any city you travel to, there's different perspectives that you can see that city in. More often than not, when I travel, I see places as especially before super progressive, I'd travel somewhere and see it as a tourist. Even if you put in the research, you know? The goal is to always see it as a local, but you end up seeing it as a tourist, you know? There's only so much you can see. If you're only there for a weekend, in my case with Cardiff, a day, it's like how much can you really do in a day? How much can you really be a local? But with this scene and with the perspective of kind of club culture and underground music culture, it is one of the coolest ways to go and see a city. You know, I showed up and Jimpy he's nice enough to he gives me a club history tour of Cardiff, right? So we're going around seeing different club locations, but within that history of the clubs, you get the history of the city with an awesome perspective, because club culture always interacts with, let's say, the universities in a city. So you get to learn about the universities. Club culture always interacts with the politics of a city. So you get to learn kind of the political dynamics of each city that you visit. Club culture always interacts with the city itself. It lends to me asking questions like I asked off air to Jimpy about what's kind of like the industrial economic history of Cardiff. What was its economic contribution to Wales, and you get to learn about that. And so it's not only do you get to learn about, let's say, club history of Cardiff, but you get to learning about the club history of Cardiff allows you to have conversations about all of the history of Cardiff. So all I'm trying to say is one of the greatest things about this project, Super Progressive, and one of the greatest things about being in the underground music culture and community is no matter whatever city you visit in the world, other like-minded clubbers are always willing to kind of share the history of their town with you, show you where the record shops are, show you where the clubs are, show you where a good place to get the coffee is. And in that aspect, it's so much like skateboarding to me, where you go to a city, you may not even know where you are, but you can just go to the skate shop. I mean, not the skate shop. Well, you could go to the skate shop. It's almost like a record shop. But you go to the skate park, and you're going to make a friend instantly, and they're going to show you your city. And there's a lot of similarities with club culture. So just really lucky that this is the lens that I get to travel the world now and see the city and meet super interesting people like Jimpy. And the future people I'll meet, and of course the people I'll meet from Cardiff on the dance floor tonight. So amazing start to the trip. Now, another thing. One of my big things is you gotta bring it to life. You can't let life bring itself to you. And I think that's especially true when, I'm not a professional traveling DJ, but for traveling DJs, you gotta take care of your shit. So what we're gonna do now, and it's, what time is it? 4:20. 4:20, epic. It's 4:20. I go on at 9. 4 hours and 40 minutes. There's one thing I gotta take care of. Gotta take care of myself right now. So I'm a little stressed about the set, but what's gonna get me in the zone? We're going to the gym right now. I got a day pass, Cardiff City Center gym. We're just gonna get a quick workout in, and then we're gonna get a quick workout in and just take care of ourselves quickly, get that out of the way, and then all focus goes onto the set. Really stoked. All you need is 45 minutes to go and do this, and for traveling DJs, I just think it's important. I've heard stories of how important it is to take care of yourself, so I'm not just like listening to those stories and going, oh yeah, that sounds great, and then arriving in Cardiff and going and partying until the set. No, we're gonna get a workout in, we're gonna get a good dinner, and we're gonna go to the set, and we're gonna smash the set. So let's do this. Off to the gym. All right, back from the gym. Oh, I'm getting a call. Hello. Just got back from the gym, just hopped in the shower, and now, feeling pumped. Fit check. What are we going to wear tonight? Option 1, classic. I mean, everything's going to be going with jeans because it's the only pair of pants I brought. Option 1's the classic. Maybe I should show you right here. Super Progressive tee. Tony DeVee on the back. He played, Jimpy was telling me how he's played here a bunch. So option 1, classic SPT. Alright. Option 2, there's some old pics of, this is inspired by Sasha, some old pics of Sasha in the oversized sweater. It's pretty cool, honestly. See, like, I don't know, it's pretty cool. Honestly, might do this. I just want to see how option 3, the polo, looks, but this is swag. Totally inspired by Sasha, too. Who is obviously has a long history with Cardiff as well. So, yeah, let's check out the final option. This might be it. Option 3, oversized polo. Yeah, kind of a tough choice. I honestly kind of like the, I kind of like the sweater, but I just feel like it's a little ridiculous to be in the club wearing a sweater. Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with the polo. I like this look a lot. Inspired by skateboarder Tom Petty. Not Tom Petty. Tom Penny. Tom Penny. Who I don't have the baggy jeans to match, but he would rock this. I think like in his video where he just like absolutely destroys Carlsbad, he rocks a similar polo. So I'm gonna rock with this. I like this look. Jeans, Vans, polo. Freaking fresh. Let's go. Alright, so when the days get busy like this, it's kind of hard to be, it's not hard to do anything, but it's, you know, you're always rushing. It's like the whole day, even though it was an epic day. It's like, get to Cardiff, tour with Jimpy, get to the hotel, get to the gym. Now Aubrey's about to come pick me up. Barely have time for reflection. Or just to chill. But I just want to say this. If you ever told me back when I was a college student throwing basement raves with just me and my friends, you know, going up to Barnes in Wisconsin from Chicago where I went to school with a busload of our friends just to go, and we didn't really know what we were doing. We just liked the energy around the music, having raves, you know, just having fun. If you would have told me that whatever, 6-7 years later, I'd be DJing in a city I've never been to before, over in the UK, opening up for DJs that are literally like releasing music on Bedrock, like established DJs, I would have been like, in what world does that happen? And yeah, so like, I'm freaking nervous as shit for this set. Luckily got a lot of practice in just on the, I don't have decks, so just on the computer with David last night. But it'll be fine. Like, I mean, after all, what is it? It's an intro set, 9 to 10 p.m. It's gonna be 12 people there. Like, it's chill, and I'm feeling good about the set. But all I wanted to say is like, I just want to thank every single person that follows Super Progressive over the last 2.5-3 years. Because, like, this is still a dream. This right here is like a dream come true for me. And I can't believe, like I was saying, it's like, in the day-to-day, it's like cool, but like, you know, it's just like life each day. But, you know, thinking about it, like, I'm DJing a DJ set in Wales. Like, this is just crazy to me. So, super stoked. Thank you for all the support. Hopefully I don't let you down with the set. But everyone's been so freaking encouraging, and I mean, literally, what's the worst that can happen? I make a fool out of myself in front of 10 people. Like, I've done way worse shit. It's all good. So, just excited to go up there, have fun, put a lot of work into this, and so hopefully I want to be proud of it, but I just hope everyone in the club has some fun. I'm going to see what the situation is in the DJ booth, because what I want to do is bring the camera up there without looking like a total loser, set it up kind of out of the way, mic myself up, and kind of talk through some of these transitions as they're happening in the moment. Because, you know, that's what I do. Tonight, I'm a DJ. Every day, I'm a YouTuber. I'm a content creator. So, yeah, just super stoked, and I think it would be pretty cool to be able to look back on this. I just know I'm gonna be up in the booth like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, and just like to capture that would be pretty fun. So, let's see what the setup's like. Aubrey's coming to pick me up. Should be a great night, and I'll either check back in with you guys at dinner or at literally in the DJ booth. So let's freaking go. Wish me luck. Thank you, everyone.
Hey.
There we go with the man himself, Aubrey.
How you doing?
Dude, we are connected. First event.
It's nice to see you all.
Yeah, let's do this. I'm stoked. Look at this. What the hell?
We're going into an old bank.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be crazy. Look at this door. Look at this thing. It looks like a Harry Potter shit. I don't even know. Crazy, bro. We're about to rave in there.
Yeah, we're going downstairs.
It's nuts.
Some ships
Freaking crazy, bro.
Is it done this way? Yeah.
Yeah.
How old? How old? You got him, have you?
Yeah.
Hands open. Yeah.
Holy shit. What? Dude, this is not right.
Ready, go.
Oh, hell yeah. Yo, this is not what I was expecting.
All the existing safes. So you've got your chill area. It's really cool, right?
Dude, this is insane. Look at this, it's a literal big fire. Alright, so what we have here is BT's Lustral, and this was introduced to me by Simply City. So Simply City opened up his opening gig for John Digby with this track, and I thought it was awesome. So this is an homage to Simply City, who has been super, super, super cool to me forever. So thank you, bro. This one's for you. All right, so we had this Hidden Life track. This Hidden Life track, my friend David showed me, and it's like kind of like a vibey, I don't know. And then we have this cue card.
coming up, so I'm gonna bring in Alex and Ryan. Aubrey was like, I'll sync them up for you, bro, it'll be fine. I'm like, no fucking way, dog. I need to learn how to like properly label my shit and shit like that.
Mine's terrible. Mine's just like a load of like random names.
I feel like maybe it's because I'm not as advanced, but a lot of chilling in between songs.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. It's not like constantly about fucking touching everything.
Don't worry, I had a very atmospheric opening. I didn't just get into this.
Hey, it's a good record.
You're like, yeah. How I kind of set my reminders, you can tell me if it's dumb, but I don't like use really hotkeys. I just use the little things to know that like at A, I want to bring in that.
That's exactly the way I do it. So like on there, I'll have like a couple of markers.
Yeah.
To know like I can drop it anyway.
Yeah, sick. No nerves at all. My guy.
Nice team selection, bud.
You like this? Thanks, bro. The main difference is hearing how much more banging it is on a club system than in your headphones at home.
This is very Danny Howells.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go. Nug Supreme, this is for you, bro. Danny Howells, thank you for showing me this track. Favorite track so far of the whole year. And now I get to play it out in a freaking club. Let's go. Sick, man. Thank you. This is epic. This is epic.
It's great fun, isn't it?
Yeah, oh my god. It all went amazing.
All working okay?
Yeah, perfectly. Not even synced up. No sync. Is Red Freya ready to rock?
Right. Yeah, she's on her way.
Sick.
Just keep going.
Yeah, I'll just...
Mate, I want you back every time.
Dude, this is so much fun.
Alright, just got back from Cardiff. Let's talk about the whole night because it was something really special. This was my first proper club gig. Now, earlier in the year in January, I got to DJ the bar upstairs at Joshua Brooks. But being down in the club space at the Vaults was like a whole different freaking thing. First of all, it's so loud down there, and in the booth when you're DJing, it's something I really had to get adjusted to. But yeah, so I forgot my headphones. That was an idiot move by me, rookie mistake, but Aubrey let me use his. Huge thank you to Aubrey and Still for just inviting me along for this. But yeah, a few things. One, the set went really well. I'm really excited about it. Now, like, granted, when I passed on to Red Freya, who played an absolutely amazing set, I think she did more work on the DJ mixer, like twisted more knobs in her intro 4-beat loop than I did in my entire set. Like, and she was making her shit sound epic. So I have a lot of training to do, but I had a lot of fun. I was really proud of how the set came out. And I, as you saw in the video, I uploaded the full set to SoundCloud and Mixcloud, so you guys can listen to it in full there. Hopefully you enjoy it. Probably recognize a few tracks, and yeah, so really happy with how the set went, and I have two major thank yous to make. First, I'd like to thank all the super progressive followers that came and supported the set, because, it was early in the night, and the fact that the room wasn't completely empty because you guys showed up to support me really meant the entire world to me. So thank you so much. It calmed my nerves to just like so much, seeing you guys there. We've met at shows before, and for you guys to show up and support me meant the world. And second thank you, biggest thank you, goes to, dude, my freaking bro, Jody Barr. So Jody's one of my favorite producers. He, you know, he has tracks on every label that I love, and he's from Cardiff, and dude, the bro showed up not only for my entire set, but he was there before helping the promoters and the staff get ready for the show. He was like kind of, I don't know, the bro's such a good bro. Like, he was just there. He didn't have anything to do with the show. He's carrying speakers. But just for him to come, I mean, he's really one of my favorite producers. We met at the Hernan and Celador gig at Studio 338 in London earlier in the year. But I thought he maybe might come and say hi, but he came, showed up, supported me throughout the whole set, gassed me up, said he liked my freaking selections, got me so pumped and confident in the DJ booth. Dude, I'll never forget that. So thank you so much, Jody. And not only that, after the set, we kind of found like a side room upstairs, and he shared with me like his whole story through, through this scene, and how he started his mixing journey by listening to GU13, Sasha and Ibiza, trying to emulate the, the mixes on his own turntable when he was just a teenager and getting into it. And it was like just these amazing stories. So it was really cool for him to share those with me. And the last thing I'll say about Jody is, like, so many people, they're probably coming from a good place, but so many people tell me to stay in my lane, which is like journalism, content creation, advising me not to get into mixing, advising me not to get into production. And Jody was just like, dude, we were talking, he's like, bro, just be yourself, as DT says, just be yourself. He's like, whatever like your form of expression is to convey your passion, just go for it, bro. He's really one of the first people I've come across that was just like, dude, just fucking go for it. And I'll never forget that, because I had so much fun tonight. Not saying I'm gonna stop everything and, stop creating content, stop creating videos, and just focus on DJing and production. But just as I've been expressing my passion for this scene and this progressive music through my videos and through my channel, doing this mix was a whole different form of expression for me. That, like, it's another way to convey my passion for this scene. So, yeah, Jody, thank you, bro. Like, we had a really cool discussion about what the future of progressive house is going to hold when, the legends inevitably step away because of just time passing. When Sasha and when John and when Hernan and when DT decide, like, their time has come to, like, not really be at the forefront of this scene anymore. Jody, we were just chatting about, like, what's going to happen and how new producers are going to have to step up and new DJs are going to have to step up, or else this whole scene might kind of, like, fade away in some capacity. But, with producers like Jody out there, creating music and really quality music, like, I was talking to Hernan, he's like, Jody Barr, top producer. But also with kind of the pioneers like Hernan always using their label to showcase new talent. I actually feel pretty good that, like, progressive looking down the road is going to be in good hands. So that's going to be kind of a huge part of my channel moving forward, is, like, obviously we focus so much on the pioneers, but it's also important to showcase, just as Hernan does, just as Nick Warren does, just as John Digweed does, showcase the new up-and-coming talent, and it's going to bring a fresh new energy to the page, so I'm really focused on doing that. So, yeah, bro, Jody, you're the man. Thank you so much. I'm so stoked to hang out again soon, but, yeah, you're so for real, bro. Thank you. And finally, I'd like to thank my freaking brother in arms, Jurassic Trance, David Lovis. Yeah, you may know him as Jurassic Trance from his YouTube channel, but this bro stayed up with me for hours before the gig, helping me kind of choose tracks, making track suggestions, helping me program the set, like kind of the idea of how I wanted the tracks to flow. And yeah, you guys might not know this, but we stay up till all hours of the night, every single night, working on either content, working on our own productions, working on mixes. So there's going to be a lot of stuff coming from us. But yeah, so thank you, David, bro, because without you, I'd be so lost in all this shit. So yeah, trip to Cardiff, massive success. Always love seeing a new city. Hope you guys enjoyed this vlog, and thank you for all the support. You guys can check out the full set in the link in the description below. But yeah, awesome weekend. Next weekend we got Glasgow, so expect another vlog. Super stoked. Peace.